Ooh, that's sensitive. Good evening. I'll call to order the City Council meeting for the City of Saratoga Springs. Today is Tuesday, July 21st. It is 6 p.m. Present we have Councilmember Wadman, Bartman, Davenport, Taylor, and Wilson. We have a quorum. We'll begin with a moment of reflection by Councilmember Davenport, and then we'll do our pledge by Councilmember Taylor.
We're grateful for the opportunity we have together as citizens and residents of Saratoga Springs. We're grateful for the freedoms that we enjoy in this community and for all the gifts that Thou hast given us. We ask Thee to bless us with Thy guidance as we make decisions for the city, and we ask Thee to particularly bless our new police officers as they begin this journey to serve the residents in our community. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item on the agenda tonight is the presentation of oath of office for new police officers. Chief.
Mayor, Council, very pleased to be.
Get closer, please. You push the button.
Thank you.
There you go.
I thought the button was controlled by you, so I wasn't looking for it, but
I can shut you off if I want to.
I know. Mayor and Council, we're very pleased to be before you tonight to have a ceremonial swearing in and commissioning ceremony for 4 new officers, 2 of which are replacements and 2 of which are 2 new allocations that were approved in the interim budget. And so at this time, I'd like to call up Jason Albrecht, Esteban Gutierrez Rivera, Kevin Froylan, and Forrest Crawford. A few officers will just 2 here and 2 here face the council for a minute. We've got Jason here is the son of a retired police officer. He's got about 15 years experience, married 3 mostly grown children. So we're excited to bring him on with the experience that he has. Next to Jason is Kevin Froylan. Kevin's got a couple of years experience, married, 1 child. Bonus on Kevin, he speaks Spanish, which is sometimes very helpful. Right here is Forrest Crawford. Forrest is currently still in the police academy. He will graduate on the 14th of August. Recently married, he's a newlywed. And then we have Esteban Gutierrez Rivera. And Esteban is married with 2 kids. And he graduated from the academy in April. And he also speaks Spanish.
Great.
So, gentlemen, if you will, step through here and face the audience, and the mayor will come forward to swear you in.
Okay, please raise your right hand, right arm. I state your name.
I, Esteban Gutierrez,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Thank you and welcome to the city.
So each officer, in addition to getting sworn in, is presented with a certificate of commissioning as a police officer. I'll read just one of the certificates. Saratoga Springs Police Department, Certificate of Commission. As a police officer, the Chief of Police of the Saratoga Springs Police Department has reposed special trust and confidence in the loyalty, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Esteban Gutierrez Rivera, Forrest Crawford, Jason Albrecht, and Kevin Froylan, In view of these qualities and their demonstrated potential for this responsibility, they're appointed as police officers. Given under our hands the dates according to the individual in the city of Saratoga Springs, Utah, signed Christopher Karn, Mayor, and Andrew Burton, Chief of Police. You're done, Mayor.
I'm done, you're not done.
So we have as an option for the officers a badge pinning ceremony if they elected to participate in that. Officer Albrecht has declined participation, having 15 years of experience and a couple of badges pinned previously. So we'll excuse him to be a part of the audience, and then we'll invite the persons invited by the officers to pin the badge to come forward and pin the badge. And I don't see any paramedics in the audience, so please be careful with the pin.
Kenny's here.
Is Kenny here? Oh, Kenny's here. Oh, Kenny's here, so we're good. Okay, now, Mayor, if we could be excused, we'll go down to the first floor, take some photographs, following which I will return.
Thank you, appreciate it. And welcome to the Saratoga. Okay, we will now move to public input. Time has been set aside for the public to express ideas, concerns, and comments for subject matter not listed as a public hearing on the agenda. Time for public input is limited to no more than 15 minutes total. Please limit individual comments to 3 minutes. Time may not be given to another commenter. Please be respectful in your comments. Please avoid repetitive comments. If you are here for public hearing, please hold your comments until that item. Is there anybody here for public input? Come on up. Please state your name and city for the record.
Yeah, my name is Jason Holker, and I have been a resident of Saratoga Springs for 2 years. I last spoke to the City Council in August of 2025. At the time, I expressed my displeasure at the current situation with ADUs and internal ADUs in high-density neighborhoods. I regret to inform you that the situation in the High Ridge area of the Mount Saratoga neighborhood has continued to devolve. Let me share just a few things that have happened in the past 11 months. A renter on Bozeman Drive thought it a good idea to sublease the unfinished basement of his rental. This galaxy brain decision resulted in a drug bust and the eviction of both parties. Around Christmas of 2025, a medical emergency on Benedict Drive necessitated calling paramedics. Thankfully, the men and women of Saratoga's EMS responded quickly and with great care. The same cannot be said of the renters that were on this drive. As paramedics were loading the patient into the back of the ambulance, the driver of a vehicle on Benedict Drive asked paramedics to close the door of the ambulance to be allowed to pass, with no consideration of the patient being loaded into the ambulance. It was very shameful behavior, but a clear example of a negative externality from poor policy and lack of enforcement. This summer has had too many close calls involving children in cars than we can count. Because the landlords on Benedict Drive had refused to follow the law by pouring parking pads for their renters in many cases, they are left to park on the street. Some houses having 2+ rental families in a single family home have up to 6 cars each, and in one extreme example, frequently have 10 plus cars parked on the street between two next door neighbors. This is a major safety issue as kids cannot see cars flying down the street. If a kid gets hit on my street, the city's going to have major problems with lawsuits that we can guarantee as neighbors. I hope that the City Council and code enforcement will do the right thing to enforce the law. As Ronald Reagan wisely put, we need to trust but verify. We are now in the verify stage of that statement. In the last year, Saratoga Springs has failed to enforce the rental laws in the Saratoga Springs City Code Chapter 19, Section 20, including the permitting process for these ADUs. There's also a significant deficit when it comes to parking enforcement and parking pad enforcement related to these IADUs, illegal or not. While the ADU topic is what I want resolved more than anything else, I know that there are certain statutes in the state of Utah that are hindering this, and I sometimes don't have very much hope, as this seems like it's a dead end. What I am asking for is stricter parking enforcement on the streets. This should include no overnight parking in high-density areas at minimum, as it is the case in many HOA neighborhoods with townhomes and also some condo communities. That does not extend to single-family homes, where we currently see the major issues. In a city that has had tragedy after tragedy when it comes to traffic laws recently, I'm trying to do my citizenly duty to warn the city of potential catastrophic consequences that come from the lack of enforcement.
Jason, that was the alarm. Thank you. Mark, can we follow up with him and have code enforcement? Katie, thank you. Okay. Anybody else here for public input?
Hi, we are Tyler and Summer Ensley. We're residents of Saratoga Springs. We just wanted to officially introduce ourselves. So we are the directors of the LDS Church's Communication Council for Saratoga Springs and Eagle Mountain. We're really all about building and fostering relationships with government leaders, other faiths, businesses, nonprofits, and so forth. But we love what we do.
So when you see us at meetings, we're not just like, we do love city council meetings. They're amazing. We love them so much. But someone asked us, do you guys just like going to a lot of meetings? So now you know why we're here. Just to tell you a little bit about our council, we have 5 couples that serve with us and between Eagle Mountain and Saratoga. And we have 2 couples that are over just served for Eagle Mountain and 2 couples that are over just served for Saratoga Springs. So some of the things that we do to partner with the city, we work with Corinne Presswich on a lot of things, especially the 9/11 Day of Service. And we support her in all the things she does. She's amazing. But we are so grateful for this city. We are grateful that we get to partner and talk and visit and get to know each of you. And we have left a small little bag on each of your desks up there with a book and a little treat. And this book is pretty cool, so check it out. It's in celebration of America 250, woo woo. And it has some cool stories and some prayers. So thank you for all that you do. And when you see us around, wave and say hi, and we'll do the same. Thanks.
Thank you. I think we had one more. Yep.
That was very pleasant. Hi, everyone. My name is, excuse me, my name is Lance Matheson, and I am also a resident of Saratoga Springs. In fact, I used to live right here across from the baseball fields in Wander, and now I live up, and I'm a neighbor to Jason in Mount Saratoga. I mainly am kind of ad-libbing, but I feel I'm compelled to just share some thoughts that support what Jason has said today, as well as what he shared 11 months ago when we were both here. And the overall feeling I felt while listening to him and watching the proceedings before us was the intention of everybody in the room is to have a good community. I love seeing the officers sworn in who want to be here to protect us. I love the neighborly outreach from religious members. Like, in general, I think everyone is here to try and make Saratoga Springs better. But I do want to strongly support the concern we have in Mount Saratoga, specifically with the renting violations in our neighborhood. It does present not only an unsightly place to be, compared to what you think you're getting when you build in a new neighborhood, but it also creates a conflict between homeowners and the builder, because that's a whole different battle to fight, and what the city does to support the homeowner against these concerns. So I would support the idea that we need your help. We need your help enforcing these code enforcement violations with AUDs. We need your help holding people accountable when they find loopholes, and those loopholes are reported directly to you when we observe them. And we need help just keeping our neighborhoods safe. I can confirm that just as of last night, between 2 homes that are next to my home and 3 homes down from that, all of us, there were 17 cars parked, and 12 of them were on the street. The remainder 5 were between the driveways, and 2 of these 3 homes have empty garages. They've either built gyms, or one of them has extended, because they have so many people living in the home, an additional family room in their garage. So they're not even fully utilizing the space that's provided in the home. I will admit that I'm not as educated in the rules of occupancy of a home, so I could be wrong. They may be allowed to do that, but when there are 14 adults living in a home and they're using space to provide more room for living versus to keep their vehicles off the street and keep our streets safe for the kids, I think there's some sort of violation or something that can be looked into. So again, I appreciate your willingness to listen to those of us who are concerned. I would love to be an active member in the community to help support. I don't want to be a tattletale, but I want to help support any efforts that are needed by the city to enforce what is right. So I plan on attending these more, but thank you for your time, and I hope for your consideration to support our concerns.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comment? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. We'll go to reports. Council? Anybody?
Oh, we have our reports?
Yeah.
I'll just report that I attended a ULA meeting, but that's it. There's nothing new to report. Great things are happening at the lake. We all know that. I'm sure most of the residents are aware they're shooting off fireworks on the 24th of July from the lake. So kind of a big, huge feat that kind of was a weird way to plan, but I think in the end, hopefully it will be super great, and I think it will be. But other than that, ULA has done some really great things about our lake, so please keep staying positive about it. Or not, if we don't want people to come out here, because we have so many of us using it. But anyway, great things happening at the Utah Lake, and it was great.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to report that I was invited to, and Audrey was invited as well, to the Saratoga Springs Police Remembrance Roll on July 4th, where the kids came out, they decorated bikes, scooters, and I had the honor of heading out with them after a few comments and go around Shea Park, which was quite fun. Me being on my bicycle, which is fairly fast, and some 8-year-olds wanting to race me. So, but I had a lot of fun with that, and it was a great thing that the police department put together. We gave out a few helmets to children that did not have bike helmets for safety. So it was a great event.
Can I also say, so Rob rode around the whole entire time with everybody. He was just kind of the leader of the pack the whole time, unless an 8-year-old beat him. But anyway, regarding that, just a big shout out to Melissa Hammer. I always say her last name wrong. She does all the stuff for our police department. She's involved in that and does an amazing job with some of these, all these activities that she puts on. The kids love them usually. It's usually a really great turnout, all of them, and she does a phenomenal job. So thank you, Melissa, for all you do for our police department and for our community.
Yeah, really quick. Went to the library board meeting, and there's lots of good things coming up. If you've looked at the numbers recently, they're just up so much from last year. They continue to be Wi-Fi usage, all the checkouts. It's really impressive what they're doing. I also went to Shea Park this last Saturday. They had an influencer kind of publicize the train rides at Shea Park, and I have not seen that long of a line since Fall Festival last year. And we are very frequent attendees of the train, so we'll be meeting with them in the next couple of weeks again to work on, our partnership with them. So.
I just wanted to highlight, in addition to the library, one of the new additions that they have there are radon detectors, not radar, radon gas. And so I had residents reach out and request these, and so it's something that you can check out like a book, and you just literally plug them in, and then you can look for that hazardous gas within your home, and then work on solutions with remediation companies.
Let's wrap this up. I'm gonna head down
Yeah.
and check one out.
Go
Very
grab one.
cool. Anything? No, okay. Mark? Okay, no need for closed session. Great, we'll move to consent items. Are any comments on consent before I entertain a motion? Oh,
Sorry, Marcy.
sorry. Thank you. We will have a quick presentation by the Point of the Mountain Chamber. She promised me no more than 30 minutes.
I think I said 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes, fine.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you all allowing us this time today. Mayor Karn and members of our city council, we're so appreciative of all of you and the staff, of course. My name is Marcy Gundry. In case you don't know who I am, I'm the president and CEO of the Point of the Mountain Chamber. I'm going on 2.5 years in my role. And
Hey, Marcy, can you get a little closer?
Yes, I can. Thank
That
you.
way it captures the recording.
Okay.
Thanks.
And so going on 2.5 years in my role, and I have a background I owned a small business when, it's been almost 20 years now, in American Fork. I owned a bakery and did that for 10 years and then sold it and then went to corporate America to work for JetBlue and did that for 10 years and then had this big aha moment that I did not feel connected to my community. And so I was lucky enough to be able to come and work for the Chamber of Commerce. And what a way to be able to get back connected to community. So I'm very grateful for that. Also, just a huge thank you to you guys just right up front. You're always so supportive of us and the businesses here in Saratoga Springs. And we appreciate that so much as you come out to ribbon cuttings and events with us. We just appreciate you so much. Sometimes those ribbon cuttings are on Saturdays and it's rough, but we always see your faces and we appreciate that so much. Also, just a big thank you to Doug Meldrum. He sits on our board of directors also and provides so much guidance and support to us, and we really appreciate that. I also have with me Hannah. Hannah Robbins is our director of business development, who works, we're just a staff of 2. There's a lot of volunteers and just us staffing. And then I also have our chair of our board, Dale Keep, and Dale works with Sun Construction. And so we're excited to have him here also. So, Nikki, you said there was oh, thank you. A little clicker, awesome. So with that, do you want me to pass over to you? Do you want to say anything?
No.
As I put you on the spot?
Yeah,
or-
again, thank you. Our board is all full of volunteers, from small business owners to employees of bigger companies. And one of my claim to fame is I was on the hiring committee for Marcy, and we made an excellent choice there. I previously was with Big D Construction, and right before I left we won this project, and I went off and this was built, and I haven't seen it since coming back today. So it's a beautiful building. But yeah, thank you for having us, and thank you for supporting our chamber.
Saratoga Springs creates an environment where businesses can succeed, and the chamber helps businesses connect to that environment. I definitely look at it as a partnership between you and us, and being able to provide that for our business community. How that partnership serves Saratoga Springs businesses is we love to welcome and celebrate. You have so many new businesses coming into the area, and to help them feel welcome, that's such an important part of what we do. Building visibility, credibility, and community connections. If you've ever opened a new business, you open that first day and you just pray that somebody's going to show up. And sometimes they don't, and it's scary, and you don't know what's going to happen. And so we really love to be able to be a part of helping make sure that our community knows about these new businesses that are opening and what they have to provide. And then being able to also connect our businesses to education, resources, and relationships. And then promoting Saratoga Springs as a place to open and grow and invest in. That's really important to us also.
with that, currently we have over 400 members that are part of the Chamber of Commerce. 40% of those members represent Saratoga Springs businesses, and 85% of those are small or home-based businesses. More than 160 chamber members represent Saratoga Springs. It's especially important for our small and home-based businesses because they often have way fewer internal resources. And so we love to be able to help support them. Utah is so business friendly, and there's so many great programs out there for our businesses. And to be able to connect them to those, that is a huge part of what we are able to do. Going back to welcoming new businesses, these are just some of the ribbon cutting. Did you hear me say cuttings? I grew up on a farm, so I apologize. Our ribbon cuttings, and those are just some of them that we've been able to do the past 6 months. It's more than a photograph. It, again, is making sure that they know that when they open their doors, there is going to be someone there on day one. They don't have to panic and worry that nobody's going to show up. Being able to show them that support, and then also, just letting them know that you belong here. We see you, the city sees you, and the community supports you. And sometimes that's a really great message as you're opening a business and you're very nervous about it. One of our recent ones is Splash of Color Pottery. I don't know if any of you have been able to go and experience it. The owner, as he opened this, he actually came from the tech community. He was tired of getting laid off and moved from job to job to job in the tech world, and so had no experience with pottery or ceramics and decided to open this Splash of Color Pottery. And he's doing great. He's doing awesome. It's really fun. We've been able to play with him in our social media and really support him and show people, and he's getting more and more business. So it's exciting to be able to see that. The other thing that we really love to do is to bring more business exposure and consumer confidence, and really just like helping residents to see. Sometimes we just don't know. Sometimes we get used to going to the same place over and over, and we forget to kind of venture out and try other businesses. And so one of our fun things that we do is a block party. Some of you were able to be there for that one this year, and bringing those businesses together and exposing people to them and showing what there is available. It's so rewarding, and it feels so good to be able to know that we can help our consumers see what's available here in Saratoga Springs. And we have some really, really great businesses here. It's really fun to be able to try all of the different things that are coming in. It's quite impossible sometimes to keep up with it. It's like as we drive down the road, it's like, oh my gosh, there's a new thing there, and we got to go try this one. So it's very fun. Small businesses are the heart of a growing city, but they often lack a marketing department, HR team, legal team, or business development staff. The chamber helps fill that gap. That's a place that we're able to step in. Some of the things that we like to do are lunch and learns. They're really specific to our small businesses who don't have all of those departments that a larger corporation has. Things around marketing or human resources, things that will help them to be able to grow. We also are a big part of the Utah Small Business Expo, and we like to be able to invite all of our members to come and be a part of that, keeping it very reasonable for them to display and get more information out about their business, or they can come and just walk through the different booths and see all of the different offerings that there are. We also do a Utah County Business Resource Fair where we bring lots of different companies or organizations within Utah to be able to show them. It's one of the funnest things for me to watch as businesses walk around from booth to booth, and they are just blown away. They're like, I didn't know that resource was there. I didn't know that I could get that. And so it's really, it feels really good to be able to help provide that for them. Saratoga Springs is a place to do business. We love to be able to promote Saratoga Springs to prospective and growing businesses, connect businesses with city staff and resources, and help businesses understand the market and navigate their next step. We are our own special community, and we have our own special way of doing things, and so it's nice to be able to help business owners understand that and know know what Saratoga Springs is all about. We serve as a two-way bridge, helping businesses understand city resources and helping city leaders remain connected to business needs. Ultimately, we just want to thank you for your support of the Point of the Mountain Chamber, for your investment in our businesses here in Saratoga Springs. It's felt, it's recognized. We appreciate it. Together, we welcome businesses, help residents discover them, connect owners to those resources, and create growth opportunities. And ultimately, we just want to say we're grateful for the opportunity to continue to work with each of you. We appreciate the opportunity. And we do have, as a thank you gift, if you haven't visited Twisted Sugar, best sugar cookies, best cookies ever, we do have a little gift for each of you, just as a thank you and just to show our appreciation. If you haven't been into Twisted Sugar, you got to go try it. It's amazing.
If you've never been there, the banana cream pie cookie is,
There are two in that box,
Yeah,
so
they're
like
incredible.
hurry and try to grab
They
it. But
did
they're
move locations too.
Mayor, I think you're
they
prohibited
did.
for the
It's a
next year.
bigger location, and they have a drive-through now. So
Marcy, your block party, so you know, cost me about $250.
Well, I can tell you, I've attended a block party, and through that, I'm now a frequent patron of two businesses. Plus, I was able to help one other business owner that showed up with his Medicare insurance needs. So
Oh, I
there's
love that.
networking.
Block party?
Yeah, at a block party, just sitting and talking. It's great for networking. It's great
Yeah.
for learning about new businesses. So
it's
thank
all
you for doing
about
those.
those connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Any questions?
No, I mean, for me, for council, before I was in this seat, I was in the council seat. I attended a lot of the chamber events over the years. The legislative wrap-up lunch. I know the chamber's got a fun event next week on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That I think I
Splash
shared.
Summit.
Yep, at Splash Summit. I'll be there. So, you know, I encourage all of us to engage with our chambers and get more involved. It's valuable to our businesses. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the time. Thank you.
thank you.
I'm gonna leave these cookies over on that table there.
Leave it-
Wrong table.
Don't give it to staff. They'll be going before we're done here.
Yes, there are. There are tons of cookies there.
Thank you.
Do you want me to push this off now?
That's great. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll move to consent items. I believe there's a couple of comments on consent before we take a motion. Councilmember Barton.
There was. I apologize. Well, not really, because I actually would like to revisit one of our consent items is the personnel policies and procedures manual, and I highly disagree with our dress code. It's very antiquated. I'd like to revisit that. And so I don't know if I just need to deny this or be like, hey, I'm okay with most of it, except I'd like to revisit that part of it. But I won't bring up the parts I was not happy with, but not happy is not the right word. Like, it's great. It just was very antiquated, and I feel like there's some things in there that we actually do not need to have in there. And so I just wanted to bring that up as part of the discussion. So,
Can we approve the policy as of tonight
Yes.
with direction to bring
Yes.
back edits?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Councilmember Wilson.
Sure, I second the motion.
Oh, anybody,
Is that what
any
you
other
need?
comments on consent?
Is that what you need? I don't have.
Sure, we need a motion on consent then.
I make a motion that we approve the consent items as stated on the agenda.
Okay, we got a first from Councilmember Wadman,
I second the motion.
a second from Councilmember Wilson. We'll do a vote. Wadman,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Mark, direction? Good on that?
I already talked to you.
Okay, great. We'll go to business item 1, development agreement amendment for Saratoga View Assisted Living Center located at 1425 North Utah Cottage Drive. Adam Lambert is applicant, ordinance 2633, dated today.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Oh, yeah.
You're welcome to have a seat at the chair.
You can have a chair. If you'd like. Either one. If you want to stand, you can stand. So yeah, this is for Saratoga View Assisted Living Center DA Amendment 2. This is located right there. It's north of Crossroads Boulevard where the Windco's coming in. So what they're proposing, the amendment, what they're asking for is an increase from the 74 assisted living beds that they currently have up to 96. When the original approval came through, there was 12 assisted living beds in 2018 development agreement. 2020, they did the first amendment and they increased that from 12 assisted living beds to 74. And then the other request is that they match the current existing architecture of the building. There was updates to the architectural code in the past year or so, which would make it look different than the rest of the building. So they're asking that they can just make the building uniform. So this is the existing site plan. It shows, if you look at the top portion of it, top left, you'll see where the building is, and then they have that area with the gazebo and stuff like that. This is what they're proposing, where the building's gonna go for the proposed site plan. It'll add a few new stalls. There'll be 4 parking stalls north of the building along the road there, and then 2 more stalls cut out of the landscape islands. The proposed landscaping, and then the proposed elevations. You can see in the middle section, the existing building is on the right-hand side, and on the lower portion, the existing building's on the most of the left and most of the building. And then they are updating the amenities, so by adding that building where they have the gazebo and all that, they will have to remove some things, but they are adding extra amenities, which will actually put them with more points than they started with, by adding the fitness room just north of the new building. And then, so we had the fire department check into calls. There was 93 total calls last year, or 2025, to the location. 16 were fire service calls, 77 were medical related. 58 of those transported to hospitals. 2 of those were mutual aid calls from other cities helping getting people to hospitals, and then 17 were non-transport. Only 8 of those were fall and lift assists. Are there any questions?
No, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'll add a couple of items
Okay.
just to shed some light on a couple of these things.
Could you
as
just
we-
give us your name?
Yeah, sorry, Adam Lambert with Rimrock Construction, and I'm also one of the owners of the Saratoga View Assisted Living Facility. So,
Thank you.
Mayor and council, we appreciate your time and your consideration on this proposed 22-bed expansion. We, just a brief history of this, we actually started this process back in 2017. And as we went through the process, it was always the intent for us to build a bigger facility of 90 to 100 beds. The reason being, we know that there's a huge demand out in this area. We were the first assisted living out here, and with the explosive growth that has taken place over the last 10 years, we knew that there would be a significant demand for this type of facility. So we always had intended to build a bigger facility. When we went through the process in the beginning, the existing council at the time, the biggest concern was regarding parking. And so that was what the limiting factor when we built the phase 1 was parking. Average parking for an assisted living facility is half a stall per bed. And we were required at the time in phase 1 to put in 0.85, which is about double what we need. And we were okay doing that just because we knew at some point in the future that we would likely try and do an expansion. Just because of the need. And so just as a side note, we're currently at 90 to 95% occupancy. Our memory care, we actually had to do a little bit of an expansion within the existing facility because we had a waiting list. And for certain numbers or certain room types, we actually have a waiting list as well currently. So there's a huge demand for this type of service in the community. Currently we have in our facility, Mark was one of the other owners over here, was also telling me that we have 7 veterans in our facility over there. We have a number of, just looking at some of his notes he sent to me while we were talking here, 4 active temple workers, uncountable grandmas and grandpas, fabulous choir, all the different things he's listed out. So for the seniors, it really is a benefit to them. One of the, regarding the parking, just to go back to that a little bit, we engaged Hales Engineering, just to give you guys a little more information on that. For the proposed addition of 22 beds, we had Hales Engineering do a parking analysis for us. And the existing facility, they went out and did actual demand for a few weeks out there. And what they came back with was the existing facility at 74 units with a 10% cushion, there's demand for 50 stalls. And we currently have 63 that we were required to build with that first phase. They then went on to also look at the addition, the 22 beds, and what that would generate, and it came back that it would generate an additional 8 stalls. So for a total of 58 with the 96 units that we're proposing. So with the current parking that we have at 63, we actually have sufficient parking for the existing facility and the addition if it's approved. Outside of that, I don't have anything else to add. Be happy to answer any additional questions that the council may have or that staff has.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to the council for questions.
So, appreciate your comments. I read through your application, and I also took note of the prior city council's action. You were requesting, I believe, 96 beds at the time, and that was then reduced to 74, if I'm not mistaken, or?
Yeah,
74, because of the concern of not having adequate parking. This is quite high density in this area, and I understand the type of facility it is. These 6 additional stalls include the one that doesn't comply, so it would really be 5 stall increase because the one doesn't comply, so it really doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. So that was one thing. I'll address that because that is something that in the as we started the looking at this addition and knowing that we were up against with the previous council some concerns about parking. We had our architect take a look and see what we could do to possibly add some stalls. You're exactly right. That stall, we can't add it just because it would be non-compliant within that landscape area.
So my question is why didn't you negotiate that at that time? And I know the city council pulled it, reduced the number. You had anticipated, you said you always wanted to build more, but you certainly had one shot at that time to request the full capacity that you were looking at. Why didn't you pursue that further?
We did. We actually, we proposed the 96 units and the existing city council came back and said they just couldn't get comfortable with the half a stall per bed and that we were proposing. And so they required that we install the 63 parking spaces that we currently have. And we complied, right? We knew at some point that we would be full at full capacity. And then we would want to come back and see if we could get an approval for the additional 22 units.
I'm not sure what's changed since then. You're coming back. What exactly has changed?
The demand is certainly changed.
Sure. And with that demand has come a lot of, as I see it, demands put on our fire department for assist.
Yes.
Where, as I understand it, that you have an insufficient number of employees at this time to be able to help out with those non-emergency, helping people get up off the floor that have fallen. Is that correct?
No, that's 100% wrong. And I've actually got our management company here that would like to stand and address some of those comments.
I would like to hear that because obviously there's a lot of calls and a lot of time that is taken when the fire department has to respond. We see that. I see that in my neighborhood with elderly individuals, residents that have needed to have the fire department come out, help them get out of the car after a bad day that they couldn't finish, get out of their car after dialysis or they'd fallen. I've helped a number of those neighbors myself, but you got a pretty big concentration there. And so I would like to hear more about what's happening, and because it seems to contradict what we're hearing from the reports that are out there, and I would like to hear about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have our management company come up.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Jason Gatherum. I'm a president and chief development officer for Rocky Mountain Care. We manage and operate the Saratoga View Senior Living. A little bit about background about Rocky Mountain. We operate in 6 different states. We've been in Utah since 1990. We go from Logan down to St. George. We have 9 assisted livings here in Utah. We have 8 skilled nursing facilities, and we actually offer the full post-acute care continuum, home health, hospice, physicians group, and all these other things. I have Tony Dressen with me, who's our VP of Operations that oversees our assisted living division. Has spent a lot of time in Saratoga and making sure that we run it the right way and have those great relationships with the state, and that we drive 5-star care. And so I'll let Tony talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think one of the concerns, right, you're saying is a staffing ratio, but before we even talk about that, one of the biggest things that we wanted to do tonight, or at least that I wanted to do, is Kenny, right, Fire Chief? We definitely need to make and have a better relationship with Kenny. Being able to communicate with each other and find and partner with and understand each other's needs. He has limited resources. We want to make sure we have the appropriate amount of resources. So that open line of communication and partnership, I think we need to do better at that so that we can alleviate some of these concerns for both those that are living at this community, but also all of you, obviously. Saratoga View opened 2 years ago, and up until June of last year, there was an average of 30 residents. So up right after that, within the following 6 months, it doubled. So the rise in calls was very clear because of a rise in occupancy with it. So that's natural. With a ramp up, when you open a building like this, it's incredibly important to make sure that you have the appropriate resources. So just recently, we were able to convert to have a full-time nurse. And that's going to help train and talk through the situations as far as you're talking about staff ratios and the training of those staff that are there. Staff ratios average throughout the state probably 1 to 12 to 14 residents. That's about the average at all assisted livings that throughout the state, and at least from my experience as well. One of the things we really try to do when we train the staff with the nurse, with all of us, is to focus on the retention. We really want to talk about the turnover and minimizing so that we don't have this heightened version of incidents. And like I said, partnering with our local EMTs and fire department groups. So what we like to do is educate our staff specifically of what an assisted living is. This is an assisted living type 2, which means if someone is unable to transfer with one person, they're not appropriate for it. So there are a number of things within that they need to understand. So when is it appropriate to call? If someone falls, if there is any sort of cardiovascular concern, any head injury, neurological, or obviously any sort of wound, assisted livings don't manage those. A nurse that's on staff does not use their license. They actually build care plans. That's a state regulated option. So it's really more of a hospitality. It's their home. We're assisting them with their getting dressed, getting to the restroom, showering, medication management. So when we approach it that way and teach our staff the importance of those steps and the things that they're allowed to do and not allowed to do, sometimes it does increase. When we have a higher acuity, it increases the amount of calls that unfortunately we have to involve the medical people to assess them and hopefully bring them the care that they need, because ultimately that's the biggest part of the care that we're focusing on. I think just to speak to the growth and the demand that's as part of the operators, we see that every day. I'm not telling you anything new, but we have the youngest city in the state in Saratoga. So the demographic we see at Saratoga View is all the people who live there are bringing their parents to be closer to them. And whether that's Eagle Mountain or Saratoga, there is a high demand, and there will continue to be a high demand, and we want to make sure we're providing the right amount of care for these types of residents that are living here. But I think overall, like I was saying, our approach is to continually train our staff, and I really want to make sure I talk to Kenny and get a relationship with him to make sure that we're mitigating any of these concerns. Anything you would add, Jason?
Just as a company, as an organization, one of the things that we do with our cities, in fact, we have an event on Tuesday of next week up in Logan. We do what we call Hug Our Heroes, and it's a first responders event where we do hamburgers and hot dogs, and all of the first responders come and participate in this event for free. Again, we just recognize the importance of that collaboration. Oftentimes we invite those first responders, EMTs, to come and do education and training for our staff. Again, our mission as an organization is simple. It's people, and seeing people as people. This is a high demand for seniors, a place where people want to be. We're continue. If we didn't have deaths, we'd be far over 100% capacity right now. But we've had people pass away. Oftentimes, what happens is they're failing at home. They're not doing well. They need a higher level of care, so they come to an assisted living where that's usually their last destination of where they're going to be. And our job is to help make that experience as great for them as possible. Unfortunately, there are times where they go on hospice or different things, and they will pass away. There's anxiety that comes when people make that decision to go on hospice. They don't know what to expect. They start experiencing things that they haven't felt before, and they pick up the phone and they call 911 before we even know about it. 911 shows up, and we didn't even know they called yet.
Mayor, can I do a follow-up? You're a type 2 assisted living facility, yet I'm hearing some things that sound more like a nursing home when you're saying, that's end of life type thing. And I've been in the facility, and I've seen individuals that are very frail. And quite frankly, you guys are a for-profit company, am I right?
We are, yeah.
Okay, and you operate in 6 states, and you have 9 assisted living centers in Utah?
Correct.
Do you see the same kind of need for calling out the fire department to lift assistance on falls in your other facilities?
Yes.
Then you said that also that there was, you averaged, correct me if I'm mistaken, 30 residents in 2025 on average, but you kind of exploded in the last half of the year, is that correct?
Halfway through was.
So by our fire department's numbers, you had 8 fall lift assist calls, and if you average 30, you're 3.75 lifts per resident, which is quite a few. Now, obviously, that's just a simple average, but year to date, you're already at 17. So you're far exceeding what they were in 2025. I don't see the improvement.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm trying to explain is I feel like this has been an approach. This is why I want to partner with Kenny to talk about how we can improve that, because we see the similarities in the other communities that we manage. There's a lot of an approach to partner with the local EMTs to understand what is a valid call. There's times when we're not a trauma center, right? So we can't do x-rays, we can't negotiate that. So if there's any concern, we're always going to lean on a professional to come and evaluate the resident in those situations. So that's usually what we're going to lean towards.
Yeah, I get that, and I appreciate the fact that we do have a need. But my issue is not with need. We have a need. There's no doubt about that. It's the operation itself and the demands that it's putting on our fire department. We're already shorthanded. We currently need 22 additional firefighters and a new fire station. And your business is putting an undue stress on that when we have to have mutual aid coming from outside the city for other issues. So I just want to go on record that I do have some serious concerns about operations at this point.
Mr. Traylor, Mr. Mayor, may I address those concerns?
Please.
Members of the council, my name is Bruce Beard. I'm counsel for the owners of the project. Mr. Taylor, you asked a very perceptive question earlier about what has changed, about why we're here. And I'll report to you that 2 things have changed, and I'm going to address them separately. First is the parking issue. And what's changed about the parking is we now know over history what the parking actually should be. And you're overparked. It's simply that point. So the answer is what's changed? the factual knowledge of the demand for parking has changed. But that's not the real issue that I sense is driving this issue. And that's what's changed is, I can tell you as a matter of fact, the owners of this property did not know about the city's significant and it seems to me quite legitimate concerns about the operations history of the project over recently. And I'm going to address that in two pieces. Number one is the staffing concerns, and well, I guess three pieces. Number one is the staffing, number two is the screening, and number three is the cost factor. Let me tell you that we could, if the city's inclined, put in the development agreement provisions regarding those issues so that your concerns, your legitimate concerns, are addressed. I will tell you that I wasn't happy hearing some of the responses that I just heard, frankly. And I can understand why you're concerned as well. So that's number one is, number one and two is the owners will take steps, and we can put provisions in the development agreement that the owners will take steps to deal with the screening and the residency population as you discussed. The third issue relating to cost is a completely legitimate issue. And I've worked with Mark long enough to know that he is a numbers guy. And he will know what the numbers are. I see a smile on Councilmember Wilson's face. Mark is a numbers guy. He knows what the numbers are, and he wants to make sure that the city of Saratoga is not unfairly burdened by any particular development. There are very easy ways to fix that. We'd be happy to put into a development agreement that if the calls exceed some agreed upon metric of average over X period of time, that the project will take care of paying those costs to the city. You are 100% correct that this project should not be a burden to the city and it should be self-sufficient. Now, we do recognize that there's a need for this kind of a facility because we all get older, our parents get older. I'm not looking for, I've told my kids if they try to put me in one of these places, I'm gonna kill them, but that's okay. I know a good lawyer. So my point is, we understand your concerns. If you have any of these concerns, what I would ask you to do tonight would be to table this decision and let us come back and try to work with staff to come up with a protocol for making sure that we have addressed all of your concerns. If I can do anything else, I'd be happy to talk and answer the questions. But your concerns are legitimate, and we'll try to work on them in the next couple of weeks if you would be so kind as to move to continue this item.
Yeah.
Have a few comments, yeah. So,
I'm happy to. If you have a comment on that, you go first.
and no, it's something actually different. So
Okay.
Let's just go down the
Do you
line.
want to go down?
So
Okay.
go ahead.
I actually just want to say, like, here's what's hard for me, and I talked a little bit about this with Mark and Lance as well, is that I see the need. I've had relatives in assisted living. I actually think they're super great, most of them. There's obviously some that there. My thing that's hard for me is we're asking for more density with less parking and less open space. That's a really hard ask for us. Even though there is a need, even though that's out there and stuff like that, right? Like, we totally understand that. But for me, again, it's not the same as, say, a developer coming in saying, hey, we want 22 more, townhomes with less open space and less parking. But it's similar, and so for me, that's where I'm having a little bit of a hang up. Not that that can be addressed any different way, but just as you guys, it's just you guys are aware that it's also a really hard ask. Not that it's gonna, not that that can change. It's gonna, change when it comes down to the voting and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just a concern that I wanted to share. So.
Good.
Yeah, and a question on that. Does this renovation take away the majority of your open space requirement? I went and drove around yesterday by the gazebo. I wasn't seeing another place that has like landscape. I mean, there's little bits in the parking lot, right? But when I was looking at this, the phase 2 looks like, there's a little bit of landscaping around it, don't get me wrong, but it looks like that was the open space, and I'm not seeing where
They'll
else that
still
would
have the
be.
amount required
Okay.
throughout, because it's, when they got this approved
Because the whole
originally, it was
development.
throughout the whole development. It
Does that
wasn't
include
just
the two
section.
1-acre lots?
What was that, sorry?
Does that open space, that does not include the residential lots?
No, it does
that-
not.
Okay.
And then they'll have more amenities.
1-acre lots do not require open space.
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't know if it counted towards that.
Oh, okay.
So we are good with the open space.
On this project.
They have submitted a site plan application, and staff has taken a look at that, and it appears that they can meet the requirement.
And I believe in the presentation, it demonstrated that they would be enhancing a fitness area, which would give them back some amenity points as well.
Yeah. they'll have-
Fitness area for assisted living people?
Well, for the community.
The community.
Yeah, so this was taking a step back, this was approved. So the cottages that are around that,
Right.
this was all kind of approved together. So we've got the clubhouse over there with the pool and the some of the gym amenities that are a part of that entire community, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I did, going along with what was brought up about the open space, and, we're adding 22 more units, but if a developer came in and said, hey, we got 22 more townhomes, I can guarantee, I can kind of predict what we'd say. That being said, I want to recognize that we do need to have assisted living. We have other, I think, opportunities that are coming our way, and maybe as this is a for-profit business, I think it might attract people out here if we have a need. The problem I have is going back to what Councilman Taylor was saying, is the burden it's putting on. As we attract these kinds of businesses, we got to make sure that for-profit businesses carry their weight. And so I think you kind of address that. What I mean by that is, if there is a burden put on, and it does come with the territory, right? You're going to have special needs and stuff like that. That a for-profit business covers that and doesn't ask the public to.
Sure.
As much as possible,
Yep.
right? Because we are going into a season where we are needing to expand our fire department, and that falls on the citizens. So that just being said, that's where my major concern is. I first of all came in here with the expansion, questioning that. Because it is a little bit different, we can I think I can talk or negotiate with that, but my thing is the burden on the citizens.
For sure.
Thank you.
I do want to address the density topic. We don't view this the same as we would a
I know it's
unit.
different, but it
Because
feels
in,
very
no,
feels-
well, yeah. Well, what I just wanted to say is we don't count every single bedroom in a townhouse. So it's not apples to apples if we're saying a bed plus a unit. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Councilmember Davenport?
I think the working relationship, I think is really important to making sure that our, like was discussed before, that we're working with our fire chief and the people that we need to make sure that this is successful. But also making sure that the pendulum does not swing in a way that negatively affects residents. We want to make sure that if there is a legitimate need for services, that those needs are addressed. We're making sure that we are not leaving somebody's grandparents sitting on the floor waiting for, assist out of bed and things. I think that's really important, is making sure that we are good citizens. Because it is such an important thing for our community to have a variety of resources to meet the variety of different needs in our community. So
Yeah, I have a couple more comments,
Okay.
if that's all right.
Yep.
I did do just a real quick back of the napkin math on like the calls for your facility, which we expect assisted living are gonna have different call volumes for emergency services, rightly so, right? They're about 6% of the city versus it's 0.1% of the city, right? So you're 60 times above the average right now. I'm not opposed. I think that my grandma's in an assisted living facility in Orem right now. I would love to have her closer. I do want these beds. I really see the need. I see the demand. I would like to find a way to continue or approve this. I am worried. No one has brought up here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I was informed at a prior point that maybe you guys have not paid your property taxes in a couple years.
That's been paid.
That's been resolved.
Okay, that has been resolved. Okay, that was a concern of mine, that we are, 60 times the average call. So I am concerned about the cost to the rest of the community, but I do think there's a benefit to the rest of the community, and I want to come to a place where we can do that. I'm not sure we can just approve that tonight, but I am hopeful we can get there.
It sounds to me like the course of action would be to, to table this.
Yeah.
Or continue. There is probably a recommended motion.
Yeah, there is. I can make that.
For that. And if that's gonna be the case, if there's gonna be some negotiation around development agreement, maybe we can get 2 council members who can help represent the council on that.
Mayor Karn, I think I heard that the attorney for the corporation wants to table it.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
to go back and negotiate some more language around a development agreement. It would be great if we had a couple council members who could participate in that conversation with staff.
Do we need to have a motion from the council where,
To table, yes.
where he already requested?
We have to take an action on it.
Okay,
I
all
can
right.
move that.
So,
I move that we continue. Oh, are you ready for that? Or-
well, let's take the motion, let's go ahead.
I move that we continue the development agreement amendment for Saratoga View Assisted Living Center to another meeting
At a future date.
at a future date, with a direction to the applicant and staff on changes needed to render a decision, including a meeting with the applicant and at least 2 council members.
Okay, we've got a first from Councilmember Wilson, a second from Councilmember Barton. Do we have a couple council members who can participate in this process?
I wouldn't mind either. I
Well-
can do it too. Oh, Rob, you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it. Just a question on the motion.
Taylor Wadman.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm just Taylor Wadman, just let Mark know.
The word continue was used in the motion rather than table. Does that matter?
Yeah.
Does that matter, Kevin?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we've got a first from Wilson, a second from, tell me again, Barton? Okay, sorry. Let's take a vote. Wadman?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, that is table or continued, unanimous. We'll go to, this is really loud tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
We go to business item 2, amendment to Title 19 Land Development Code of the City of Saratoga Springs, Chapter 1914, for phased non-residential site plans, city-initiated, citywide ordinance 2631, dated today.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As stated, there are 2 portions to this proposed code amendment this evening. The first part is to Chapter 1912 subdivisions. There are 2 changes that are being proposed to this section. The first has to deal with a courtesy notice required of the applicants for developments when they come in to record MYLARs. That will be provided to utility companies and evidence of that provided to the city. That's consistent with state law and our own changes made to our city standard plat template. The second change in there is a clarification that all rollback and property taxes are due at the time of plat recordation. The second part of this code amendment is the phase site plans for non-residential developments. The goal with this code amendment is to take a process that has been in practice at the city and add some language to be able to require more as development comes in for non-residential subdivisions that are being developed in phases. As noted here in the code amendment, there are several conceptual plans that the city will be requiring when a phase development comes in for non-residential subdivisions. Additionally, there's language here that requires construction drawings for all necessary infrastructure to service that phase of development, as well as protections against any portion or remainder of the development being left that otherwise would not be developable in its current state. I have prepared an example here trying to demonstrate what this code is going to accomplish. You take a piece of land that is being developed by demand by a developer. So they come in with phase 1. Currently, they would bring in a site plan just for that phase. The goal of the development here is to add some more conceptual information for the surrounding site to ensure that it is being planned accordingly for the rest of the development. With that, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
council?
There are no specific, like geographic spacing required for this, right? It's,
No, there's not a geographic limit or maximum associated with it.
Anything else? If there's no other comments, we'll
No,
entertain a motion.
thank you for proposing
Thank
those.
you.
It looks like that was some nice cleanup there in some of those first ones especially, so.
Mayor Carr and I move that the city council approve the proposed code amendments to chapter 19.12 and 19.14 with the findings and conditions of the staff report.
Okay, I got a first from Councilmember Wadman.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Taylor. We will do a roll call vote. Wilson? Yes. Wadman?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Business item 2 passed unanimous. We go to business item 3, amendment to Title
Thank you.
19. Thank you. Land Development Code, City of Saratoga Springs, Chapter 1919, open space for minimum required amenities, city-wide, city initiated.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is returning to you. You last saw this back in April. So just to give you kind of a recap of where we're at and where this has gone since you last saw it on April 14th, 2026. The item was tabled, and staff has been working with Council Member Barton and Council Member Davenport to work on this code. One of the concerns that were in the last meeting was about restrooms and when we should require restrooms at trailheads and things like that. Upon further investigation, we looked at our parks, recreation trails, and open space master plan, and it looks like some work is needed in that document. So we're hoping that we could just defer to that document and say, as per this document, this is where restrooms will go. But that document does not accomplish that. So we do have plans to amend that document. Our goal is to have that done by 2027. And so the restroom portion, that portion of the language has been removed from this code amendment, and we're just proposing the amenity changes. So you can see here on this slide, the range of amenities that are being required. So basically we're giving more flexibility to the amount of amenities that a developer can use when developing a property. So we used to limit it to 2 categories. Now we're just saying you have to pick at least three categories, and you can do whatever amenities you want. So it gives more flexibility, but it also hopefully gets us some better amenities that fit the community and our current needs of our city. So you can see that specific language here. So for example, in the first part, it said category C, D, and E. Now we're just saying 3 different categories. And then we've added some language that says you can't so that we're limiting how much equivalent acres can be added in a development to 25%. That was a concern that we had with the old language. And then you can see we completely struck out item C, and then item, I guess would be the new item C down at the bottom of the screen. Public amenities may qualify for impact fee credits. So this language talks about impact fees. This is just an option that developers have. If they don't want to do amenities, they can get impact fees. And so we just have some clarifying language there. You can see here, this just shows you what the categories are. So if you're curious, what is a category A, what is a category B, what is a category C? This is the existing language in our code. We're not amending that, but it's just, this slide is just informational purposes only. Do you have any questions?
Council?
I'm just putting it out there that Ice Rink has 1,750 points. So any developer, I'm just putting it out there. That's a lot of points.
Mine is more of a comment. That we know that this is kind of an interim code
Table, yeah.
at this point, and that there will be significant work with the master plan coming up, and also with the table that's on there that needs to be reworked as well. But
I just want to give a quick shout out for Austin and Sarah and Eden as we worked through this. Very interesting things that came up, and it was really good to have 4 different voices and people looking at it and stuff like that. And we figured out, wait, this isn't actually working with the master plan, the restrooms and stuff like that. So really great conversations to figure it all out. So I really appreciate Austin. Sorry, I know they're super busy all the time, but quite like 1-2 hour meetings that really accomplished a lot. So thank you guys for being willing to do that. And thanks, Ian, for, I'm always like, I don't think that sounds right. And Ian's like, well, this is why it doesn't. And so I really appreciate her knowledge and stuff on everything where she's very intelligent with that kind of stuff. So I appreciate that. So thanks to our staff and
Can we
everybody.
I just have a question. If we go back, it says the criteria for restrooms. Can someone just explain to me why it looks like a minimum 1 toilet restroom per each acres? We're just taking that out. Is that because we're not doing it currently?
So the idea is that the master plan will dictate where restrooms are to go.
But it didn't.
And so it's the document that we are referencing that will be,
So
that
as
will
we update the
dictate
master plan.
where the restrooms are intended to go. And so it won't be like a uniform at every trailhead, at every park. It will be as designated by the process.
By the document, yeah. And we also had the concern that right now it just says if you have 5 acres, you have to have a restroom like that. We're concerned that we might get a restroom that we don't want, right? So we're just gonna remove that for now and it will be revisited at a later date.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, if there's no more comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the city council approve the proposed code amended to chapter 19.19 with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Second.
We have a first from Davenport and a second from Barton. Do a roll call vote. Davenport?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wadman?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
That passed unanimously. Thank you, Austin. We'll go to business item 4. This is exciting program for the inspection and maintenance of sidewalks, resolution R2643 dated today.
Well, I'm really sad that no one stayed around for this.
Got a big crowd before
Don't say
us.
nobody.
Yeah, Kenny.
Kenny.
We have chief and chief.
Yes. This is just memorializing what a lot of things we do in practice, but it was never really written down. The other benefit of this is it makes the insurance company happy. And it also kind of is a good reminder for us to build this process into CityWorks. So we've used TAMS through the Utah State University, and they bring the kids out and they run through our whole city and find all the signs and all the AD ramps and trip hazards. So we're doing that again this summer. So if you see kids running around, college kids running around in golf carts,
I didn't know, that's very cool.
so long as they have clipboards, they're gonna find all these trip hazards, all these signs, give our streets department, a couple of years of work. But this process also gives us a formal process for when we get residents that call us or someone who's aware of something. And this allows us, it seems the theme of a lot of conversations we've had is there's a never-ending need. How do you prioritize those needs? How do you prioritize the resources? Because we would love to do everything, but that's just not feasible. So this establishes a process that we can say if we have a limit on resources or things that we can have somewhat of a formulaic system to kind of say, okay, which one should get addressed first? Where should the resources go first? So sometimes that's not an issue and we can address all the issues that we find and sometimes not. And as we grow, that's probably going to become more and more of an issue, right? As our infrastructure ages and stuff, this will become more and more valuable so we can prioritize those resources and take care of the worst cases first. And, the goal will be to everything eventually.
Okay, any questions from the council? That was riveting. Thank you.
We love Jeremy.
If not, I'll entertain a motion on the resolution.
I have one really quick question. It looks like it said, as I was reading here, that you have a budget of 20,000. Is that sufficient to maintain? Is that still sufficient?
So far it is. Actually, when we did the 2022 TAMS, the students, I think the entire city had less than $100,000 of sidewalk repairs. We were able to address that over several cycles. Okay. And so if the new report comes out, I don't know what I don't know. If there's a concern, I will definitely bring it back to you.
Yeah, bring a budget amendment if you need to. Okay.
I also want to do a shout out. I mean, what we're doing is really proactive and, it's a good thing and we're glad and proud of the processes we put in place and we'll develop a methodology to address all those concerns in the coming, years, weeks and months. So it'll be a good thing for us as we continue forward. So thank you for your support and letting us innovate and do these kinds of things.
Great. Can I get a motion on business item 4?
I move that we approve business item number 4, program for the inspection and maintenance of sidewalks, resolution R2640-43 dated today.
The first from Councilmember Barton.
I second the motion.
Second from Councilmember Wilson. Do a roll call vote. Taylor?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wadman?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
That passes unanimously. Last business item is council comments. Do we have any council comments?
I have one.
Councilman Wadman?
I just want to publicly recognize a fire captain, Spencer Long, that passed away. So condolences to our fire department. We live in a beautiful country, and sometimes these things happen, and it's tragically when we lose not just somebody in the first responders, but their whole family. So
He worked for us for a time.
yeah. So
Thank you. Any other council comments? Okay, and there's no need for closed. Okay, so without objection, we are adjourned.